Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. Yes, we
Okay,
can.
okay, thank you so
Yes.
much. Thank you so much. So please, yeah, welcome once again, every one of you guys, to the very first live session in the AI and ML Bootcamp. So, like I said at the start, is that we are going to be covering the program curriculum. We are going to also be setting up the necessary tools on your PC that can get you started in the program. I hope you guys are all excited. I am very very excited to be here in your midst. So we are going to be starting with the curriculum. So you could see very well that within the program is actually an 8 month program. It's not a 1 week program. It's not a 1 month program. It's not a 2 month program. But it's an 8 month program that is geared towards taking you from absolutely not knowing anything about in the field of AI and ML to becoming a machine learning engineer in the space of 8 months. And it's a very very thorough, intensive program. So every aspect of machine learning is going to be touched in the course of this program. So that's why it's going to be taking that long. But the promise is that if you can invest this number of time, then you should know that after the next 8 months, you have a skill that is widely sought after. You understand? So we've broken the program into various phases. More of this is going to be made available within the website, that's aacademy.me, where you can actually see your full program structure. Also, every information on every material that is being used will also be made available on the Discord channel. So that's what we're going to do. So we're basically going to be starting with the foundation of the foundation. So it's divided into phases. So the very first phase is for the foundation. Now, in this phase, you're going to build core mathematical and programming skills needed for machine learning. I believe as at now, you must have gone through the lesson. You must have gone through the very first video that was posted on machine learning, the landscape, and everything that you have to know in order to become a machine learning engineer. I believe you must have gone. So I'm not going to be spending time talking about that. The video is on YouTube. You can go there and watch it. So, but in the very phase, which is the foundation, we are going to be covering the core mathematical and programming skill, because machine learning is an intersection of math, statistics, and computer science. So we're going to be covering the foundation. So we're going to be starting with programming. You're going to be doing the Python fundamentals. So now Python is the main language for AI, like I talked about more detailed in the previous class. So you're going to learn everything about Python such that you can be comfortable enough to go into other advanced topic in Python. So we're going to start with the foundation, and not just only the foundation, we're going to go into more deeper concept or deeper topics in Python. You're going to learn from the various syntax, variables, data structures. You're going to be learning object-oriented programming, and also you're going to be building tons of projects in the course of your learning. So that's the very first thing you're going to learn. Then after you have learned Python, we're going to move further to certain libraries, Python libraries, which are very very essential as you journey into becoming a machine learning engineer. So one of it is NumPy. You're going to learn about NumPy, which is numeric Python. It's for numeric operation. There's an aspect of machine learning called deep learning, which I'm going to be introducing. It has to do with lots of mathematical computation. So we have certain libraries that enable us to be able to perform it. But for the start, you will learn how to work with a library called NumPy. NumPy. So after which you've learned about NumPy, you learn about pandas. Pandas is used for data analysis. Remember, I said in the last previous class, 80% of your time as a machine learning engineer, you're going to be working with data. So you're going to really learn. It's one of the major library that is used when it has to do with data analysis. So you're going to learn about the various techniques and the various skills or method of using pandas. Then also you're going to learn about matplotlib, because you have to, sometimes you might need to communicate your data in diagrams. You have to have a visual interpretation of your data. So matplotlib is going to be very very important in enabling you to do that. Then also still in the you're still in the foundation, you learn about Git and GitHub. As a developer, as a machine learning engineer, you can't work. There have to be a place where you manage version control system. As you're working on your various projects, there have to be a place where you deploy your project, and that is where GitHub comes into play. So you might learn about Git and GitHub, and also Jupyter Notebook. You learn how to install Jupyter Notebook. In fact, before the end of today's class, we're going to see how we can get that started, because when it has to do with machine learning, Jupyter Notebooks are the most preferred way of working. Yeah, you're going to be working with Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so that's the very first foundation, and once you are done with that, you can be rest assured. Okay, so that's for the Python. Sorry, that's for the Python programming. Then we are going to move further to mathematics. You understand? So, like I said, AI intersection of math, statistics, and computer science. It's very, very essential you understand the mathematics behind machine learning algorithms. You understand? So, we're going to start with linear algebra. Um, we're going to master linear algebra. We are going to master that's the math for vector and matrices. That's linear algebra. This helps the computer to understand and process data like images, text, and number efficiently. So we are going to also learn about calculus and optimization. So this is very, very important, especially in an aspect of machine learning called deep learning. Here it's going to help us to, like calculus help us to study how things change. It helps us to in field. It helps us to train our model by minimizing error using techniques like this techniques called gradient descent. So you are going to learn about calculus still in the very first phase of the class. Then you're going to move into probability and statistics. Remember, I said machine learning, math, statistics, computer science. So probability, as we all know, is the science of uncertainty. It helps us to make prediction, which is very, very essential. Handle randomness and also evaluate our model. So that would help us to cover the foundation, and probably we are looking at in the next first 2 months we should be able to be comfortable with the foundation of machine learning. Not necessarily the foundation, but the foundation, you get. Then when we are done with, we are going to now go into core machine learning. Are you guys all following me? Are you guys all understanding me? Are you guys all hearing me? I want to get um
Yes.
okay, cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so then we're going to go into the first two. So that's take look at think that's the first 2 months we're going to be spending brushing up the foundational skills, both for the math aspect and also for the programming aspect. Then after we're going to go into the core machine learning. We're going to start with the traditional machine learning algorithm. We're going to learn about core concepts like supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning. So these are machine learning principles and algorithm. Okay, so like in supervised learning, that's learning from, we're going to understand what it means learning from labeled data. Unsupervised learning, which is finding patterns in unlabeled data. Reinforcement learning, which is basically learning by trial and reward. So we are going to call the core ML concept. Then you're going to understand things like train, validation, and test splits. When you're trying to build a system, working on an ML project, when you have your data, you have to divide it, the train, validation, test split. Then you're going to learn about overfitting, bias, variance, trade-off, which helps in balancing how much a model learns without memorizing. Cross validation, which is the testing the model multiple times for more reliable results. So that's the core ML concepts. You're going to understand that in the second phase of the entire bootcamp. Then also we are going to explore some classical algorithms. Now, despite the fact that we are calling these classical algorithms, they are still used in today's world, like in practice. You get that? So we're going to be understanding things like linear and logistic regression, because this is going to build the foundation to the more advanced algorithm you are going to be learning in the course of the lesson. So linear and logistic regression, this is very, very important. Decision tree and random forest, these are tree-based model that split data into roots. Then you learn other things like support vector machines, KNN, and knife bases. Okay, so I wouldn't want to spend much time talking about all of these things because, like I said in the previous video, I think I took a while to explain some of these things. So, this is what we're going to be covering in the second phase, and we are also going to be learning about a library called scikit-learn, which is going to enable us to implement some of these traditional machine learning algorithms using Python. So, almost everything we're going to be doing is going to be within the Python the Python eco space or ecosystem. Okay, so that's everything we're going to be covering in the second phase of this, and this is basically going to take us from 1 to 2 months, 1 to 2 months to be able to cover the machine learning, both the concept and classical machine learning. So then after once we are done with that, the next thing we are going to go is deep learning. So the wall is one of the most advanced AI systems that are built in our world today is being powered by deep learning. It's as a result of deep learning, the rise of ChatGPT and the likes of the most powerful AI system is as a result of deep learning. So this is going to be the core of the entire program. So we are going to start from the very scratch. We're going to start from the very scratch. So first and foremost, we need to understand neural network. So neural network, which I wouldn't spend much time talking about. In the course of the lesson, we're going to go into deep details on every single topic. So we have the feed-forward network and backward propagation. This is the building block of deep learning. So feed-forward is how data moves through the network, and backward propagation is how error flow backward to adjust weight. So we're going to be learning all of those things. We're going to learn about activation function and optimizers. Activation function and optimizers. We're going to learn about regularization, yeah, dropouts, batch num, and a whole lot of that. And also, for us to be able to implement deep learning, we would need two essential libraries. We're not going to be using every other thing, but we're just going to be restricted to PyTorch and TensorFlow. And the wonderful thing is that you'll be able to, in the course of the lesson, you would learn how to implement both, implement using these both, not language, these both libraries, you understand, PyTorch and TensorFlow. So, and all of those are written in Python. They are written in Python. So, a very strong understanding of Python is going to be very essential because you are not going to, although you can implement deep learning using other form of programming language, but the one that is actually widely used that how do I say it? Um, Organizations uses worldwide, it's mostly PyTorch and also TensorFlow. So you're going to understand how you can implement all of these using PyTorch and also TensorFlow. So you might have to implement something in PyTorch at the same time. That same thing you will need to also implement it in TensorFlow. You understand? So you're also going to learn how to implement whatever you're going to be doing in both languages, in both library. I don't want to mistake both of them. Then after you're going to move to vision, computer vision, convolutional neural network, classical architecture. You're going to learn about then transfer learning, object detection, segmentation, then recurrent neural network, which has to do with sequential data. So you're going to learn about LSTM, and please don't be afraid with all of these all of these words you are hearing. You understand, as you grow in your knowing, it's not going to be something very strange, most especially for some of us that are just beginning. You understand, you are learning one of the most powerful technology in the world. So there's a whole lot to learn. You understand, but don't kind of be scared when you're hearing all of these big words. You understand, they are something that once you understand them, it's going to be very easy for you to go through. Okay, so once we are done with the deep learning, and then we're also going to touch advanced classical ML still in the deep learning phase. Then we are going to go into advanced deep learning. So advanced deep learning. So we have started with the foundation, we have gone to machine learning algorithms, we have gone into deep learning, and now we are in advanced deep learning. And at this point, yeah, you will know how most of the things are being done, most of the things are being implemented currently in AI. You understand? So The very first thing, transformers and attention. So okay, so like we're going to be exploring self-attention mechanism. Now, this powers things like ChatGTP. So self-attention mechanism, which help the models focus on important information. So some of these, when I say this powered ChatGTP, some of these, some of the research that was done that gave rise to some of the um, advanced AI system that we have, the breakthrough in AI, like that we are experiencing in our world, was as a result of some of these algorithms. So we're going to be exploring some of them. In fact, as part of the project, we're going to build a very simple GPT-2. You understand? That is going to help you understand how large language model works, how things like ChatGPT 3 or GPT-4, the foundation. So we're going to build a very simple GPT-2 in the course of the program. So there's a whole lot for us to learn. So let me just run down through everything. So self-attention mechanism, transformer architecture. So like I said, this is the backbone. This is the backbone beyond things like ChatGPT. So backbone of models like GPT and BERT. Okay, so then also we are going to look into pre-trained model for text and vision tags. Then once we are done with that, we are going to go into natural language processing. So like I said, you can specialize in the previous lesson, you can specialize as a computer vision in computer vision or natural language processing. So natural language processing. So we are going to explore the entire field of natural, not necessarily everything as we say, but something that can give you a foundation that you can go further and build upon the knowledge you have gathered. So what embedding and tokenization, which has to do with converting text into number. We are also going to explore some common NLP application. We're also going to see how we can customize large language model for specific tasks, which has to do with fine-tuning and pre-training models. So let's say you have a model and you have a specific task. So this model was trained for general tasks and you want to kind of make it for a particular use case. You don't want to build a model from scratch. Get so you fine tune this pre-trained model. You understand? So we are going to be learning all of that in that particular phase, and the Hugging Face ecosystem. We're also going to explore that. That is very, very important because Hugging Face is a platform. Basically, you go see models, you see what people are doing. You can also deploy your own model. So we're going to be seeing exploring various models in. We are going to explore the Hugging Face ecosystem even before we reach the advanced deep learning. You get that? Okay. Then also, I want to stop here and ask: are you guys all understanding? Are you following up?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks so much. So now I've seen part of this. So like this is the core of the like this is more like the final part of the program that's based on your learning. Okay, so generative model. So we're going to explore all of these in the course of the lesson. So we're going to go generative model that can create realistic images. Um, we are going to go into diffusion model, VEC. So I don't want to spend time, like I said, some of these things might be something that you might not really grasp at start, but as we go further, we are going to explore them in depth. So finally, the MLOps, not necessarily finally, because we still have things that we are going to advance topic, some of these advanced topic. Um, but also you learn how to deploy models. You understand? It's not just enough for your model to be on your Jupyter notebook. So you understand? So you have to deploy it in production. So you're also going to learn one of mediums or way you can actually take your model from just being your Jupyter notebook to the actual real world. So model deployment using various tools, Flags, Fast API, which are Python framework. So also you learn a little bit about Docker, cloud platforms, and a whole lot, model monitoring and versioning. So you're going to learn that. So this is going to be like the final part of the program. Now, the thing about this is that as you are learning, you are building projects. Like in the Python course, like from the Python course, We have 3 projects that you're going to be working on. You understand? So as you are learning, you're going to be building projects. And remember, this is part, we are starting a campaign, the 100 days of code. Although the program is going to exceed 100 days, but please and please, very, very important, ensure that every single day, starting from tomorrow, which is basically going to be the day one, you go out there to, using the feature that's available within the AI Academy, post your learning experience. It's not just enough for you to learn these technical skills. You have to also learn other things. You have to let the world know that you are learning. And that is why we have built the system. We have built the AI Academy in such a way that it kind of forces you to share your work. Please and please, I want everyone to take advantage of every single feature that is within the AI Academy. So please ensure that you post every day. Let no day come to an end that you don't learn something or you don't post that thing. We are starting with the Python, absolute Python for beginners, which I'm going to be going through the particular course. We are starting with that particular course. But please, as you learn, you share. And also please, on the classroom, ensure that you follow everything that has been detailed. We have, I'm not saying that we are going to be very strict, but we want to ensure that everybody is actively involved in the learning process. So we are not going to permit passive learners. I'm going to permit people that are just going to sit down there while other persons are making contributions, or every other person are sharing and you're just part of the class. We have systems that ensure that that is not permitted or that is not allowed. So please, we want everyone to cooperate with everything that we have put in place to ensure that we have a very wonderful experience. So we have some of the projects that in the course of the lessons you're going to be building. So house price predictor, those are very, very simple projects. Start from simple to more advanced. But we are not restricted to these projects. When I mean we are not restricted to this project, we are going to encourage you because you're going to have a major capstone project, So, which you're going to be building with a team, with your fellow colleagues. You're going to be grouped into groups to build a major capstone. But these are the projects that in the course of learning one or two things, in course of learning the various courses you're going to be building. So house price prediction, customer segmentation, movie recommendation system, neural network from scratch, DG classifier, robotic control, game playing agent, machine translation, recommendation system, medical image analysis, music generation. So your own capstone project. So like I said, these are not all the projects that is being covered, because like in the course of you learning things like the Python, there are projects you're going to be building in learning pandas, in learning matplotlib, in learning matplotlib, in learning the various libraries, TensorFlow, PyTorch. You're going to be building project alongside, because it's project-based learning. You understand? So that is everything they're going to learn. So this should take a period of 8 months to be able to master every one of these things. It is not like you don't have to learn everything once. Every day, just put in a single 1 hour. Starting from tomorrow, we're starting the Python for absolute beginners. Start from tomorrow. Every day, make sure you show in. Every day, ensure that you make a comment. Every day, ensure that you share your learning progress. That's also going to improve your visibility, enable you to be able to learn just before you're done with the program. 8 months is not 8 days. It's not 8 weeks. It's a long period of time. That's almost a year. But I can assure you that as you keep posting your daily progress, in the 4th month, in the 5th month, you're going to start getting job opportunities. People are going to start reaching out to you because you are doing this every single day. You get? People are going to start reaching out for you. I'm talking about before the end of the program, especially when you start posting your project and you are consistent at it. When you go out, even after the program, you go out for interviews, you go out for, you're looking out for job search. You understand? When people can see your robust socials, your robust LinkedIn and Twitter, you understand? People can see how intense, and it is proof that you actually know what you claim you know. You understand? When they see your projects you've built, when they see every single step of your learning process online, You understand? That would stand a great chance in you landing a job. So, or not necessarily even only landing a job, but it also shows that you actually know what you claim you have learned in the course of the 8 months. So, it is very, very integral to everything that we are learning. So, that is going to be all for the curriculum. I hope you guys all understand. These materials are going to be posted on the Discord channel. So please, if you want to engage in it, it's going to be posted. I want to move to the next session of this class. There are some basic tools that we need to be installed in our PCs for us to get started. So I want to move down there. I want to start that particular session. Before I start, I want to find out any question, please, so far. Are you guys still following up? Are you guys following up?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Okay. So now there are certain things that we will need, and in the course of the program, we are going to be like as we advance from time to time, new tools. We're going to be introducing to new tools, but these are the ones that are going to be the very basic. So I'm just going to run us through some of them. Let me stop sharing my screen.